What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another Madden 20 Ultimate Team game. Mean Joe Greene might be the greatest nickname in NFL history. When you say Mean Joe and the Steel Curtain, it might sound like gibberish to the average person, but pretty much any NFL fan will know exactly what you're talking about, even though we're not naming a player and we're not naming a team. You know, Mean Joe is associated with Mean Joe Greene. You know, the Steel Curtain is about the 1970s Pittsburgh Steelers dynasty of a defense full of Hall of Famers like Ham, Lambert, Blunt, and of course, Mean Joe inside, maybe the most prominent member of that Steel Curtain defense, and he is definitely going to be our featured player today. We will start the game off with Mean Joe in the zone. He will have Run Stuffer activated as his X Factor ability, which is going to be interesting to see because we haven't really been able to activate Run Stopper all year long. It's a hard X Factor to get going, so we'll see what Run Stopper is all about, and then, you know, once Mean Joe is eventually out of the zone, because, you know, he's probably not going to stay in the zone for the entire game, we'll see what his superstar abilities bring to the table. Early on, the offense wasn't looking too great. It looked like the defense was going to take over pretty quickly, but we ended up getting the first down, and now you see Peyton Manning starting to get in the zone. Second down and 7. Gronk inside. I don't know how many players actually make that catch inside, but I know Gronk is one of the select few, so I'm thankful to have Gronk as our tight end, but unfortunately, that's going to be a sack, and we lose all the yards we gained on the previous play. Gronk gets a nice catch inside, but it's still 3rd down and 16. This is a very dire situation, so we'll probably bring out the field goal unit. Oh, no, we will bring out the field goal unit, but for a PAT, because Randy Moss is inside for the touchdown. I had my opponent kind of chase the cheese right there. I put Gronk on like a little out route, and you know, since I was throwing it to Gronk so much, he went to Gronk, even though he really shouldn't have since it was 3rd and 16. But we ended up tricking him for the touchdown. And now, without further ado, Mean Joe Greene steps on the field, and my opponent is in a run-heavy formation, and he is running the ball with Melvin Gordon. And here lies the issue with having Run Stuffer activated. Yeah, Mean Joe's gonna get a nice block shed inside, but everybody runs stretch online, so what are you gonna do with a run stuffing X Factor when everybody's running stretch? And then Odell makes this crazy catch over Certain. I believe his name is Certain, right? The dude from the Dolphins legend, right? I apologize for, I probably got his name wrong, but as Mean Joe trying to shed inside, he still has Run Stuffer activated. It takes 20 yards allowed to knock Mean Joe out of the zone, so he's still doing his thing. You see the description, block sheds are more, you know, frequent when someone runs the ball. But right now my opponent is passing the ball and not passing it well. That's going to be intercepted by free safety Megatron off the deflection, and Mean Joe will stay in the zone next time we see the ball. But first things first, you know, we got to take care of the offensive end, and we are not doing too great, just taking constant hit sticks from Pat Tillman right now, so it's only a matter of time before we fumble the ball, it feels like. But nonetheless, Eric Dickerson will brave it out and try to just continue taking hit stick after hit stick. 4th down and 4 upcoming. No huddle offense, and Dickerson right back at it. Oh, that is close to moving the chain. I'm not sure that's a first down. We'll have to wait till this end of the first quarter. And yes, it is a first down, and Dickerson right back at it again. And you know, I'm not really putting too much mentally into offense. I'm just trying to, you know, do whatever I can. If we could go downfield and score a quick touchdown, that would be nice, and we somehow do. I completely missed Randy Moss running wide open, and then I was like, damn, I gotta throw this ball to Randy, even though it's probably going to be a late throw, which it was, but Denzel Ward was not able to get the ball. In fact, he tipped it to Randy Moss, and we ended up getting a touchdown, and my opponent quits the game. So even though Mean Joe is still in the zone, I would have liked to at least finish that off. I said that Mean Joe would lose his X Factor at some point in the game. I did not account for a quick rage quit after getting a defensive stop quickly. So, yeah, maybe Mean Joe can finish games off the way he starts it with his X Factor activated. Once again, we start off on offense first here against our guy using the Ravens jersey, so it's a nice Ravens versus Steelers rivalry game. But, of course, back when Mean Joe was playing, there were no Baltimore Ravens, as Randy Moss makes the catch inside. Peyton Manning firing the dime. Eric Dickerson always breaking that first tackle when he's in the zone. Eric Dickerson is definitely the glitchiest running back in the game right now. I don't think there's really much question out there, because especially with this X Factor you start the game off with, I mean, he already breaks tackles almost all the time anyways, and then you get this X Factor thing going, and it's completely cheese as Peyton Manning QB sneaks it in. Jim Brown is also very good. We did a video on Jim Brown. He was a lot of fun to use. He is quite the bully in the streets, I must say. He is always running over people, but will he be able to run over Mean Joe Greene when Mean Joe has his X Factor activated? Let's find out. Only one receiver. You know he's running the ball, and he's going to get a very good gain, stiff-arming Ryan Shazier, and that play alone nearly knocked Mean Joe Greene's X Factor out. So, once again, you see my opponent running stretch. We're going to try to spread the line to at least bait him to run it inside, but, you know, even though we bottled the play up, he still falls forward because Jim Brown has his X Factor activated, and I guess this is what Ultimate Team is about nowadays. You got, like, people with their X Factors as soon as the game starts. Like, it's just absolutely madness out here. So, that run by Randall Cunningham actually knocked Mean Joe out of the zone, so there goes Run Stuffer as we stuff the run prominently on the next play without Mean Joe's X Factor. 4th down and for Cunningham. Oh, wow. Throwing it right in the vicinity of Troy Polamalu and gets away with it. You don't see that every day. We have knocked Jim Brown out of the zone, so he doesn't have his X Factor. So both Mean Joe and Jim Brown both normalized, but of course both still have superstar abilities along with the quarterback, Randall Cunningham. 3rd down and 13. That will not be caught by Jim Brown. Great running back. Receiver in traffic, not so much. 4th down, 13. Opponent going for a great protection downfield, and that is a wide open Odell. As I got a text message right there that tripped me up, but I believe we were more tripped up on the defensive end just now. I don't know how in the world we gave up that downfield shot to Odell on 4th down and 13 out of all the downs. We play such great defense, and then, you know, my opponent eventually scores the touchdown anyways, so his running back may have lost his X Factor, but ours hasn't just yet. So we can still bravely run into Pat Tillman because, you know, Eric Dickerson's probably breaking that tackle, still breaking tackles. So all you have to do is make sure Dickerson doesn't get tackled behind the line, and we're all good. 2nd down and 8. Oh, what a spin move by Tyreek Hill, cutting it back to the right side, and that'll allow us to get the 1st down. Peyton a nice 4 for 4. Dickerson carrying the toe on the ground, and this is just insane. Like, Madden has already been tilting. Oh, hold on a second. This is Lane Johnson with the ball. Lane Johnson nearly going all the way. The right tackle for the Eagles, catching the pass. Next play, Randy Moss not able to have the success that Lane Johnson had. You see Lane Johnson doing this thing, trying to actually pick up blocks, but blocking no one. 3rd down and goal. Might as well run this rock with Eric Dickerson, see what happens while he still has his X Factor, and he completely runs a man over into the end zone for the touchdown. So what I was going to say before Lane Johnson did his thing was that, you know, Madden has already been tilting the lines of arcadey, you know, nowadays, but I mean, this just takes the cake, all these abilities now. So I don't even know what to say about it as we get the interception with Night Train Lane. My opponent puts his hands in the cookie jar, and you're not going to get away with putting your hands in the cookie jar, man. Night Train Lane will take that. He'll take it for 6 as Jim Brown on the kick return. Breaking the tackle, but we are able to at least gang tackle, and that's what you got to do with these running backs. I mean, you got to send your whole team at them to tackle them, whereas Jim Brown or Dickerson. You got Randall Cunningham rolling out the pocket. You got people with Andrew Luck, but I mean, that's why you got to have defense abilities to counter these offensive abilities, right? So that's what we're hoping Mean Joe can do. 3rd down and 5, though. They just kind of doubled, even triple Mean Joe, send everybody to block Mean Joe, and ends up working for the 1st down. But unfortunately for my opponent, even though he's running with success, he doesn't really have the time to be running the ball like this, unless Jim Brown breaks off a big one, which he nearly does. But since he doesn't, down goes my opponent's final timeout. This is going to be caught in bounds by Bo Jackson, but that's not really good for my opponent because, once again, no timeouts. This will most likely be the last play of the 1st half. Got to take a shot downfield. Got to get the playoff. First things first, Randall Cunningham taking his time, and he does get the playoff. So you got to go end zone to Michael Irvin. Oh, Irvin makes the catch in the corner for the touchdown. The Hail Mary is converted by the playmaker on free safety Calvin Johnson. I cannot emphasize to you guys how much I do not understand that animation where, like, either the offensive player or the defensive player pushes off. It's like a 50-50, right? You see that animation? I don't know which one of the 80 patches in Madden 20 created that animation, but somehow, someway, that animation has prominently made its way into Madden 20, and you don't know who's getting the ball or what's going to happen, and I was actually trying to swat that ball, but, you know, while I was holding the X to swat, I guess that animation broke out. So yeah, so as we are continuing to play this game, you will notice that Mean Joe Greene is kind of not really doing anything, and I don't know if that's because I'm not using him right, but I feel like Mean Joe, as we get another text message, I put my phone on silent, and as my opponent runs a fake punt on 4th down and 3, like, this dude's been absolutely money on 4th down. Like, he doesn't do anything on the first 3 downs. On 4th down, he absolutely kills it, but then he decides to go fake punt. What I was gonna say is that I usually silence my phone when I do these, video commentaries, but I can't silence, like, the iCloud on my phone or my computer that's hooked up as Lane Johnson makes another catch. Lane Johnson once again rumbling for a 1st down. Our best receiver on this team, as Dickerson nearly falls in the end zone. I feel like I've already ranted like 2 or 3 times on this channel about how much I dislike the iCloud. I'm just putting it out there, right? I'm not a fan of it. I do not want these text message updates on my phone, and I do not know how to take it off without turning off the iCloud. And at the same time, I don't want to do that, but they're kind of forcing my hand. And there goes Bo Jackson again. Once again, my opponent running with pretty easy success on these stretches, and Mean Joe is very nice, but these abilities we have on him. It's just that there's no ability for stopping stretch plays. I wish if my opponent ran stretch, Mean Joe would jump over to center and tackle the quarterback before he hands the ball off. Because, like, goddamn, there needs to be something to stop these stretch plays. They're killing me inside. They're absolutely killing me inside. This game is starting to wind down. Start the 4th quarter, so my opponent definitely needs to work to get a touchdown, as Lanier could have caught the interception, but he decides to join the Pat Tillman SWAT club. 3rd down, shovel option to Jim Brown, and my opponent gets a bit too tricky out here. Doesn't quite work for him. 4th down. This is his money down. Can he convert one more time? Randall Cunningham rolling, throwing, and that is not going to be caught by Jim Brown. He is spiked to the ground and loses the ball, and that is the way the drive ends and the game ends. So leave a like in the video if you guys enjoyed what you guys saw. I'm not sure we saw too much from Mean Joe. Trust me, I played more games than this with Mean Joe, and I just, like, I don't know, man. Everybody runs stretch. You got to get abilities to stop stretch, right? Mean Joe, he might be better off at, like, rushing the passer, but he didn't even get a sack. So, I don't know, man. I feel like I probably just didn't use him right. So, leave a like in the video if you guys did enjoy the game, though. Subscribe for more Madden 20 gameplays, and I will catch you guys next time.